Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Well, happy Saturday from the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Now for over 6 years, sharing with you what you need to know, want to know, and should know about real estate and finance and so much more with our goal of guiding you to personal financial wellness. We have some new tricks up our sleeve this year, Gino.
We do. We've been doing quite a few things, and always we recommend you go to donandgino.com, which is our hub. You can always find out what the latest and greatest that Don and I are up to. And today, we have our second interview with our new series called Interview with the Giants.
That's right. So our goal is, after all the years of being in the industry we have and having the luxury of rubbing elbows with some of the top entrepreneurs across the country, not just in real estate, but in general, our goal, we learn so much from these professionals, and I call them mentors, speakers, authors, and so much more. We decided to bring them to you so that you can learn what we've learned and get inspired like we are. Our goal is to enlighten you and to hopefully improve your lives. And we're going to do that with these great interviews called Interview with the Giants, and we're going to interview some of the top entrepreneurs across the country to give you some insight of what inspired them and what made them successful and how to help you become successful. And we just love this series, and it's going to be available again on donandgino.com. Again, go to donandgino.com, click on the live streaming button, and you can join us right here at our custom-built studios right here at Skyline Home Loans.
Well, today's exciting, Don, because we have a good friend of ours and a industry icon, and more than that, I mean, somebody who's got particular insights into the bond trading world that nobody else has been able to compete. I mean, there's been 3 or 4 or 5 other people that tried to come into our industry and do what Barry's done. But with not a lot of success, right?
Well, in fact, Barry just received an award. We're talking about Barry HABIB. To go into what all the things he has done in our industry and in all other industries as well, because what Barry has done is he's gone from one of the top mortgage professionals in the nation, based out of New Jersey, good New Jersey boy, and he's turned it into an incredible entrepreneur, and he's shared that success with so many of us, like Gino and I, and helped mold our entire industry to really understand how our industry works. Instead of just doing loans and quoting a rate, not understanding why the rates moved the way they did, Barry took it upon himself to become an expert in our field and really understand what moves the needle when it comes to interest rates. And he's really taught us that.
Let's bring him on, Don.
All right, Barry, you ready to join us?
I am, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate all the great work you guys do.
You too. I mean, you've really changed my career, Barry, and I know Gino's too, and you've made us look good. So thank you very much, and that's a tough job to do.
You guys look good already, and thank you. You're way too kind.
All right, so I'm going to give a little bit more of the credibility piece because, Barry, you've gone from, again, mortgage professional, and then you went into basically really what motivated you to really dive in deep and really understand more about what moves the needle in our industry, because a lot of us just got the rates quoted to us and we regurgitated that back to our clients, but you really moved the needle and dove in. And what motivated you to do that?
Well, I discovered kind of at an early age that there's a couple of things that are very important in the sales process, and being a constant student even today of the psychology of sales, it's interesting. People typically make a decision very quickly whether or not they're going to do business with you. So more often than not, the first meaningful discussion we have with a potential customer is over the phone. And what happens is, more likely than not, in the first few minutes, they've already decided if they're going to do business with you. And then the rest they justify. If they like you and they want to do business with you, they'll be very forgiving on rates or fees or some other potential obstacles. And if they don't really like you, they'll look at any of those obstacles as an excuse not to do business with you. So in trying to understand that psychology, what I discovered is that if I can get them to root for me quickly, and the way that I can do that is by adding value through knowledge and expertise. And especially today, with everything that's available over the internet, goodness gracious, ask somebody a question, especially millennial. By the time you spit the words out, they've already got the on their
They're
phone.
They're all Googling it already.
They can get an answer pretty quickly. So to regurgitate information just isn't enough. You really have to create value. The other part of the psychology of this is that people in the buying process, by the way, And that first point, isn't that the way we buy too? I mean, we kind of decide we want something or we're going to work with somebody, and then we just justify all the reasons why we need it or why we should buy it. We make decisions like that. So we want that customer to be rooting for us quickly. So we have to be very knowledgeable initially, and knowledgeable on what. It's not just enough to know your guidelines, okay? That's kind of like the price of admission. You see, when someone looks for a home, the shopping process occurs, especially today, online, and it's a visual process. So metaphorically speaking, they'll shop with their eyes, and if they go out and they look at a property, they like it, they become emotionally attached. So we'll metaphorically say that's something where they become attached with their heart. But the decision to purchase is done with their wallet or their pocketbook. And isn't it interesting that that's not how people in our industry or in the real estate industry sell? You think about it. What do realtors sell? They sell features. Oh, look at the great granite countertops, the marble floors, the huge closet space that you have, the new fixtures, the swimming pool. They'll sell features. And mortgage professionals, now by and large, this is not in absolute terms, they typically sell, hey, I'll get you approved on time, I'll get you closed on time, I'll fight for the lowest rate. No one is articulating the financial opportunity that exists in real estate, and that's how people buy. So when you said when I made the transition, there were two things I wanted to do. One is show people ways to increase their net worth and use that net worth increase to do things that are much more meaningful in life, such as taking care of their children's college education or taking care of their own retirement needs, which, as you know, for most people, they're lacking in those two very critical areas of their financial life, or showing them the opportunity that really exists in real estate by diving down deep and gaining the local information and showing them that what this may transition to in net worth for them, and giving them real ways to understand the difference between things like buying and renting, and not these buy versus rent, simple, stupid calculators you see out there. Okay, it's better than nothing. But we really go in depth to make sure that it shows the individual based on local information, 40 years worth of research historically, expert research, forecasting up to 15 years, to show them what this is going to mean for them from a net worth change. And it's shocking when you take a look at it. So it's a long way to answer your question, saying we just got to be smarter than our competition. We've got to work harder than them, work harder in a smarter way, and create value that articulates the financial opportunity. So that was the way I created my career, and I was fortunate. I was named by a couple of magazines back in ancient times in the 90s of being top originator in the country. So today people do really unbelievable numbers, much more than I had done in the past, but I was very honored with that. And a lot of those principles still exist. So in 2001, I kind of left originating transactions, and I had a mortgage company that I sold as well. That was a really nice company. And I said, I want to teach people to do business the way I do it. I have to tell you guys, I was really scared to death when I did it, because the market took off and everybody I'm seeing around me making all this free money. And here I am starting with this business and kind of like, starting from scratch. And stuff. So I did some soul searching. Did I do the right thing? And thank goodness it was the right decision. And as you know, those companies, whether it was, of course, Mortgage Market Guy.
Right.
Yes, I mean they became quite large, and we built a really great organization and sold that company.
What I love
Barry,
there, though,
just
Barry.
one thing I want to touch on there, but
Yeah.
we'll go on to the next segment. But you touched on the number one critical factor is to become an entrepreneur, you must have fear. It's okay to have fear. It's a good thing to have fear.
Well,
when
fear
you're
and
gonna do it.
passion together, I think, because you followed your passion, obviously.
I did, and I questioned myself often. So we don't always have the right idea, but it took tremendous imbalance in working. I mean, almost every night, creating this till 3, 4 in the morning. There wasn't a lot of sleep going on, and I was scared. Yeah, I mean, look, I felt that I was on the right path, so I believed in myself. But it takes a lot, It's kind of like that Sylvester Stallone story when he first started Rocky. He supposedly had seen the fight between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, got inspired, wrote the script in the next 24 hours, and then he was broke. He was so broke he had to sell his dog. I mean, this is a guy who was really broke, right? And then the guy tries to get the studios to put him in as the lead actor, and they said, no, we're going to get like a Robert Redford. And they offered him like 20 grand, and this is a guy broke in 1970, broke, said no. And then the guy is offered 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, $330,000 to a guy who has to sell his dog to put food on the table. The guy still said no, says, I'll do it if I'm the lead. He really believed in himself. So I don't know if my story is quite that inspiring. But I think the message for everybody listening is follow your heart and be passionate. And, if you believe in something, take that conviction and don't give up on it.
All right, and we love that, Barry. And actually, I think they're going to put a statue of you in New Jersey like they had the one in Philadelphia.
Going up the stairs?
Exactly, the Barry Habib statue. All right, Barry, we're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, I'd love to talk more about the steps you took converting from basically a mortgage professor to an entrepreneur and the other areas that you stepped into and developed over time that have become monumental in our industry. So you mind hanging in there, Barry?
I'd love to. And remember, we're all entrepreneurs, aren't we? Even in our own business, even if we work for somebody, our business is our business. So everybody listening is internally an entrepreneur.
There you go. All right. We're going to be right back with Barry Habib, one of the top entrepreneurs in the nation. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show, don't go away. This is great stuff.